It feels like you've known them your whole life, doesn't it? Like a puzzle piece you didn't even realize was missing just clicked perfectly into place. They see you, truly see you, in a way you've always craved. The compliments are endless, the affection is almost overwhelming, and they talk about the future, your future, together, with a certainty that makes it feel like it's already written in the stars. They might call you their soulmate within weeks, maybe even days. It's a complete whirlwind. A fairy tale love story you thought only happened in movies. You feel adored, cherished, and finally, deeply understood. But then, there's a shift. A subtle, chilling change in the emotional weather. That constant warmth is suddenly replaced by stretches of cold silence. The compliments slowly morph into critiques. The very person who put you on a pedestal now seems to be trying to knock you off it, and you're left spinning with confusion, asking yourself the same agonizing question over and over. What did I do wrong? How did my soulmate become a total stranger? If this story feels painfully familiar, you need to listen closely. That intoxicating, head-over-heels beginning wasn't a fairy tale. It was the start of a trap. You haven't lost your mind, and you are not to blame. You were love-bombed. Section 1. The trap is revealed. What is love bombing? So, what is love bombing? It's not just being swept off your feet, it's a well-known manipulation tactic. It's when someone overwhelms you with affection, admiration, and attention to gain your trust, and ultimately, control over you. Think of it like emotional bribery. The love bomber showers you with exactly what you've always wanted to feel: desired, important, perfect, so you become dependent on them and feel like you owe them. This tactic is often used by people with narcissistic traits. They create this intense, idealized connection only to yank it away, leaving you desperate to get it back. The cycle is brutally effective. First, they idealize you, making you the center of their universe. Then, once you're hooked and emotionally invested, they start the devaluation phase. And that's when the sabotage really begins. The love and affection are suddenly withdrawn, and you're tricked into believing that you did something to cause it, making you feel like you have to do anything to win it back. This isn't love. Real love is built on a foundation of time, patience, and mutual respect. Love bombing is a high-speed chase designed to bypass your natural defenses and make you emotionally dependent before you have a chance to even ask yourself if it's real. They shower you with extravagant gifts, constant praise, and grand displays of affection that feel almost too good to be true. And that's the key. If it feels too fast, too intense, or just too much, you have to trust that feeling. It's not a fairy tale. It's a carefully built illusion designed to win you over, fast. Sign number 2, the devaluation phase. This is easily the most painful and confusing part of the whole cycle. After that period of intense idealization, the love bomber's mask starts to slip. The constant affection suddenly vanishes. Texts go unanswered for hours, then days. The person who once adored every little thing about you now finds fault in everything. You go from feeling like their world to feeling like you're nothing, and you have absolutely no idea why. This is devaluation, and it's a deliberate withdrawal of affection used as punishment and control. They might become cruel, dismiss your feelings, or act completely indifferent right when you need them most. You're left with emotional whiplash, constantly scrambling to get back to that perfect beginning, blaming yourself for the change. That feeling of walking on eggshells, of desperately trying to please them just to get a scrap of that old affection back, that's the core of the trap. Sign number 3, isolation from your support system. A classic move for any manipulator is to cut you off from outside perspectives. A love bomber will subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, drive a wedge between you and your friends and family. They might make you feel guilty for spending time with others, using lines that sound romantic on the surface like, "But I just want you all to myself." But it's not about romance, it's about control. They may criticize your loved ones, suggesting they don't really have your best interests at heart, or that they just don't understand the special connection the two of you share. Over time, this isolation makes you more and more dependent on the love bomber for your sense of reality and self-worth. It makes it almost impossible to see the relationship clearly. When you're in an echo chamber with only their voice, you start to believe their version of events is the only one that's true. Sign number 4, gaslighting and the war on your reality. Gaslighting is maybe the most twisted form of emotional sabotage there is. It's when the abuser systematically makes you doubt your own perceptions, your memory, and even your sanity. They'll flat out deny saying things you know you heard them say. They'll twist your words and use them against you. And if you dare to confront them about their behavior, they'll call you too sensitive, crazy, or dramatic. You find yourself apologizing for things that were never your fault. You start to second-guess your own feelings and experiences, thinking, well, maybe I am overreacting. Maybe it didn't happen that way. This constant assault on your reality is psychologically exhausting. It's designed to keep you off balance, confused, and much, much easier to control. Why it's not your fault. The psychology of the trap. If you're listening to this and recognizing your own story, you are probably drowning in self-blame. So let me be perfectly clear. It is not your fault. You didn't fall for this because you're weak, naive, or stupid. You fell for it because you're human. Love bombing is so effective because it preys on one of our most fundamental desires, the need to be seen, loved, and accepted for who we are. The manipulator holds up a mirror to your deepest longings and becomes the perfect fantasy. These individuals are often driven by their own deep-seated insecurities, a terrifying fear of abandonment, and a desperate need for validation and control. Many have narcissistic traits and fragile self-esteem, and they use this tactic to build themselves up by having power over someone else. Their behavior is never a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own inner chaos. You didn't do anything to deserve this. You were targeted with a calculated strategy. The shame you feel is a byproduct of the abuse, not a reflection of your character. It's time to put the blame exactly where it belongs, on the manipulator's actions. Call to action. If this is hitting close to home, please know that you are so far from alone in this. Countless people get caught in this trap and suffer in silence, convinced that they are the problem. If you think someone in your life needs to hear this message, please consider sharing it. And for more content on spotting red flags, building healthy relationships, and taking back your power, make sure you subscribe. Your story matters. Your healing matters. Escaping and reclaiming your power. Recognizing that you're in a trap is the first, most powerful step you can take toward getting out. Healing from love bombing is a journey of reclaiming your reality and rebuilding your sense of self. It starts with small, deliberate steps. First, learn to trust your gut. If a relationship feels too intense, too fast, or just off, listen to that instinct. It's your internal alarm system, and it's almost never wrong. Don't let anyone rush you or make you feel bad for needing to take things slow. Second, break the isolation. Reconnect with the friends and family you may have drifted away from. Talk to them. Let their perspectives ground you back in reality. Your support system is essential for reminding you of who you were before this relationship and helping you find your footing again. Third, you have to set firm boundaries. This might mean insisting on space, saying no without feeling guilty, or in many cases, going no contact with the person who love bombed you. Staying connected often just reopens the door for that idealized devalue cycle to start all over again. You are allowed to leave any situation where you don't feel safe or respected. And finally, be incredibly patient and kind to yourself as you heal. Recovering from this type of emotional abuse takes time. It's completely normal to feel shaken or to mistrust people for a while. Seeking support from a therapist who understands narcissistic abuse can be incredibly validating. They can give you the tools to rebuild your self-esteem and learn how to trust again. You weren't looking for a fairy tale that was too good to be true. You were looking for a love that you deserved. The soulmate you thought you found turned into sabotage, not because of a flaw in you, but because of a tactic they used. You can, and you will, move past this. You will rediscover your own worth, a worth that was never, ever dependent on their validation. And you will find a love that is steady, safe, and real. A love that builds you up instead of setting a trap.